As Paul mentioned, at DVRPC, we're the MPO for the Philadelphia region, so we're a bi-state MPO, and our TIM program started about almost over 22 years ago, 1999, and it was a way, obviously to provide a venue away from the scene of an incident for responders to meet and to build those relationships. We're not the operating agency, we're planners. We act as the facilitators and conveners, and try to make everybody play nice in the sandbox if at all possible. So it's definitely a true collaboration. As you can see, our areas, possibly we had multiple task forces that we run. We facilitate 8 different task forces in our region, basically almost one for every county. Our New Jersey Safer Task Force is a multi-county task force based on the geography and the roadway system there. So many of these really started as a quarter-based task force, but as time has progressed and we've all learned, these traffic incident management is not just for limited access highways; it's for all types of roadways. So we've tried to expand to bring others into the program as well. I'd be remiss if I didn't just throw this up just to give credit to a lot of our local stakeholders and partners that are our task force chairs. They help us in setting the agendas, getting the local incidents, getting information, hearing about all the local issues that we may not hear at the 60,000 foot level. So we couldn't do our task force meetings without all of the participation and really the volunteer participation from all these people, and the multidisciplinary effect that definitely helps out the collaboration effort in our group. I'll just go list a couple of the things over the last few years that or the last 20 some odd years that have been successful that we've run. Obviously, the biggest thing is the building of the relationships, getting the different stakeholders there, the different disciplines there, to kind of see the perspectives of each other, talk about things that have gone out on the highway. We run our TIM meetings. Our meetings they've typically been quarterly over the years. Obviously in person is the best, but we've moved to a virtual and sometimes hybrid if need be. We've kind of moved away from hybrid because those meetings aren't as successful, I think, for one or the other. So we've kind of been doing just virtual or in person at this time. And we've kind of, like I said, we did quarterly meetings, but now sometimes we combine task force meetings together. There's some benefit in, maybe some are bridge crossings or whatnot. So it's a really good idea to get a different perspective. And like Paul said, we had kicked off our year with a multi task force, all of the 8 task forces together on one call to kind of set the stage for what we're going to be working at. We do after action reviews at every meeting, not informal ones, but to get the information out, share best practices. And that's why Chief Anderson is here today, because he provided an excellent one. The TIM training is something obviously we've facilitated over the years. We've held several regional traffic incident management conferences where we can hold them. We've held them at our Citizens Bank ballpark where the Phillies play. We've been able to block off streets and do vehicle demonstrations and various items. And recently we've been holding some electric vehicle fire training classes. We've also provided some technology assistance to some of our agencies. We have provide video walls, customized video walls for a video sharing process, collecting the videos from both our DOT partners, sharing them. We've done an interactive detour route mapping system, which is all of the official PennDOT detour routes. New Jersey DOT in our area has just kicked off, and they have a similar effort as well to map all of their official detour routes. That they're more used in planning aspects, not necessarily the day-to-day aspects that drivers would use. We've also done construction coordination, which has been really a huge benefit. There's a lot of multi projects out there, big scale projects. This one picture is of a scene of local responders providing input to. There's a couple hard shoulder running projects that are coming down the pipes in Pennsylvania along 2 major highways. So that's obviously been a big contention for our local responders, and we kind of act as liaison between PennDOT, the responders, and the designers and the engineers that are actually designing the thing, so they can provide their input early and often during the whole process. Other special projects, some ramp designation signing was done early on. We facilitated some TIM safety and operating guidelines for some of our task forces, putting what they typically do, on a day-to-day basis on paper so that they all know their different responsibilities, and a lot of it is based off of the TIM training. A couple of our task forces have asked us to do response boxes designating, who's responsible for which part of the highway. This is specifically in New Jersey, in our New Jersey Safer group, which, like I said, divided 2 different counties. It was really important based on the communication and having agencies respond to the highway based on access to the limited access highway, not necessarily their municipality. And it's been pretty successful. They signed MOU contracts, and it's been in place, and we update those fairly frequently based on the agencies that respond and some of the changes. Move over seminars for law enforcement. We've done, obviously we do like a social media toolkit for a Crash Responder Week. That's just something that we push out to all of our task force members and ask them to do some social media campaigns as well on their own sites to get the word out. This EV task force subcommittee is a recent activity that we've been doing. We've kind of held 2 meetings, and it's based off of our meetings of electric vehicle fires and the varying efforts that each of our stakeholders have. Some know a lot about it, some don't. There's a lot of misinformation out there on some of these things. We've kind of grabbed a smaller group of people to get together to talk about it, to kind of see what we can do as a group to maybe document best practices, put together some guidelines, even if informal, and maybe even a clearinghouse of information and training. And we're just kind of meeting on a monthly basis right now to kind of figure out what our actions are and what we plan to put together. Over the years, we've been involved in several large special event planning events for papal visits, national conventions. And as a MPO, we're looking out for the local responders, the funding and that type of thing. We try to incorporate traffic incident management and, traffic operations and TSMO into all of our long range plans, our congestion management processes, our safety analysis, statewide safety plans. So it's a group effort, and we support our statewide TIM efforts, both Penn Time in Pennsylvania with Todd Lease and NJ Tim with Sal Cowan and his group in New Jersey. So we couldn't do it without collaboration. I could speak for hours on some of our things in more detail, but I wanted to hand it off today. The reason why you're probably here and listening is as Chief Mike Anderson with New Jersey, with the West Trenton Volunteer Fire Company. He is well over 30 years, I think, experience with West Trenton Volunteer Fire Company, and several of the years as a career fighter for Ewing Township. So this was a pretty interesting after action review that kind of came across, and he'll talk about all the details of it. So I'll hand it off to Chief Anderson. Thanks for joining us, Mike.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon. Mike Anderson, West Trenton Volunteer Fire Company out of Mercer County, New Jersey. Just a little bit here. We're in, it says West Trenton, but we are in Ewing Township, New Jersey, that borders Trenton, the city of Trenton. We have a wide variety of traffic and things in our area. We have air, we have rail, we have the river, we have, just about everything here. So as Chris said, I have over 30 plus years retired career in volunteer, served as the chief of the last 5 years, and continuing. Next slide, Chris. So on January 23rd, it was a Monday morning, approximately 6:21 a.m. On I-295 southbound between Bear Tavern Road and Scotch Road, we were dispatched to a vehicle fire. We had light rain that morning and the road conditions were wet. And these were the responding agencies. Initially, West Trenton was dispatched first as the local company. We also work closely. We have the airport right here next to us, which we work closely with Trenton Mercer Airport, Station 34. Ewing Township Fire Department, Station 30, that is the career department that's located in the center of town. And we have Prospect Heights Fire Company, that's our sister company on the other side of town. Also detailed to the incident was Union Fire Company and Pennington Fire Company, the 2 tankers that we dispatched for water supply. Also, we had the Ewing Township Police. I requested being on the highway, New Jersey State Police usually aren't local, even though we have state police headquarters here. There's not usually a road patrol at that headquarters. So I called Ewing Police to assist with traffic control. And also in New Jersey, we're benefited with the New Jersey DOT Safety Service Patrol. This is a pickup with a signboard that they patrol the roadways for any disabled vehicles or traffic incidents or anything like that. And they do monitor emergency traffic radio. So they do respond to the area. Also, we have, I'm benefited here, right here in West Trenton, and also do have the New Jersey DOT West Trenton yard, at the actual maintenance yard right here off the exit, which is also a big asset that we have here. Also, EMS was dispatched, but they were diverted to an MVA northbound at exit 76, which is Route 29 down near the Scudder's Falls Bridge. So we diverted them to the accident down there. And lastly, we also, since we had some spillage, minor fluids from the vehicles running off from the fire, we also make a notification to New Jersey DEP Emergency Response, just for the notification, as we do with any hazmat or incident. Our first initial challenge that we faced here was the initial dispatch. We were dispatched to the wrong location. How it comes into the public safety answering point. If it comes to Ewing, if it's medical or fire, it is transferred to a central dispatch station. And sometimes there's that disconnect of gathering the proper information or the location. We were actually dispatched to I-295 northbound in the area exit 72, which is Route 31. This is probably 3 or 4 miles from the actual incident location. And again, not enough information was given to us, as we were thinking that we're going to a single vehicle fire where the incident included multiple vehicles on the car carrier. We weren't advised beforehand that it was a car carrier with multiple vehicles. And once I arrived on location as first on location, it was a surprise to me that there was no truck attached to the trailer or in the immediate area. And not knowing, seeing, 4 vehicles burning at least, not knowing if there was any vehicles that were electric vehicles, which is a pretty big hot topic right now throughout the responder world, which we're learning, more and more as time goes on. This slide here shows the differences on the highway. You can see where it says initial dispatch, where I said, it's probably a couple miles away to where the incident location was. Again, it's a couple miles away. So actually, Chief 34 and Station 34 are right near that exit, the Scotch Road exit there in the middle, which they started there and looking up and down the highway. But looking at that, then you can see the distance, from the time and location that we were actually dispatched to. Next slide, Chris. This is the actual highway, what it looks like. The general area, the incident location has 3 travel lanes and a shoulder lane. The shoulder lane was where the trailer was sitting, where the driver stopped the vehicle. Also in this area, you see no openings in the guide rail, to which response vehicles have to travel to the next exit to change travel lanes from north to south. So as they were down that other end, it's not like we could cut through the median or any pathways in between. So we have to go to the next exit and come back around. Next slide. These photos show we had more than just a single vehicle fire, like I stated. As I said, it was in the shoulder lane, and this is what we arrived to. The water you see here is from engine 34, which is a air rescue firefighting vehicle, NARF truck going into service with their turret gun until the other units arrived. Actually, in the first slide, I think you still see cars passing in the left lane there. But when I arrived, I took the slow lane. It was amazing to me that cars were just passing by you know, in that slow lane right next to the trailer. You go to the next slide, Chris. With no tractor attached to the trailer, I noticed what appeared to have another car carrier approximately a quarter mile further down the highway in the shoulder lane. And again, I took the slow lane with my command vehicle to try to move traffic over. It was shocking to me to see the vehicles passing in, you know, right next to the trailer with the tires were blowing and the fire blowing out. Just, I don't know what it is, New Jersey, when they, you know, this was early in the morning with rush hour. And when people got to get somewhere, they'll just drive anywhere. They don't care if there's fire or what. The second vehicle, like I said, engine 34, took the additional lane and did an initial fire attack from the rear. But we still have problems with the passing vehicles in the outside lane as the ARF truck was moving around to attack the fire. Second vehicle was engine 33. I had them arrive and took the blocking position in the slow lane where I was to maintain traffic control. And then I moved past the trailer further down where the it looked like the other car carrier was down there. And this is where I also requested Ewing Police for traffic control until New Jersey State Police arrives. Next slide, Chris. These photos show a little bit later in the fire attack. As you can see, Squirt 31's articulate master stream device and the hand lines we had out on the highway. And again, once we go on the highway, you know, as a commander, our priority is personnel safety. So the traffic diversion and you know, in an operation like this is priority. Once I traveled down, I seen the other car carriers where the driver was. So I asked the carrier driver if there was any electric vehicles on board that were burning. Asked him if he had a transcript or a manifest, which he didn't. All he had was information on the vehicles. But he did state to me he thinks there are maybe possibly one or two EV vehicles on the trailer, but not knowing which ones they were. And the only manifest that he had it on his cell phone where a list of the VIN numbers that he was transporting. So really basic information on what he was traveling. Nothing like, you know, the hazmat guys or, you know, other guys where they have a manifest actually or nothing like that. He didn't have. So this was a private carrier coming out of Aston, PA, up to Somerset, New Jersey. And with the possibility of the EVs on board, we made a request from multiple resources, requested the Ewing all call an additional 2 tankers from Hopewell Township. Generally because we have no water supply. And I'm thinking in my head, oh boy, this is EV vehicles and we're going to be here all day because everything we're learning as everything, the EV vehicles are a new hot topic. Like several years ago, airbags were a hot topic when they came out, but the EV vehicles seem to be the hot topic and possible methods for extinguishment. Right now, it only just seems that, you know, copious amounts of water are the only solution right now. So that's why I requested the additional 2 tankers there. New Jersey State Police arrived. And the first thing the trooper asked me was the sergeant wanted to know how long the lanes were going to be blocked. Again, once we go onto the highway, we work hand in hand with them to try to minimize any traffic congestion. So we try to limit closing the lanes, but again, personnel safety is our priority. We did leave the fast lane open so traffic could get by. As we understood, it's, you know, it's rush hour, 6 a.m. in the morning, and the road is heavily traveled coming across the Scudder's Falls Bridge into New Jersey. At one point, we had to close all the lanes during the attack of the fire because we had to reposition engine 34 to try to get a side angle for better penetration. So I communicated that to the trooper. We did that collectively with everybody on scene. And we kept it to a minimum, 5 minutes, and then we opened that fast lane back up. Next slide, Chris. Squad 30 arrived and they blocked the middle lane and they assisted engine 33 with the hand lines for the fire attack. As you can see, the multiple hand lines in the previous picture. And we had engine 31 and squirt 31 arrive and assisted the crews. And again, like I said, we had squirt 31 articulated master stream. We were to put that up into service along with the hand lines and the ARF truck. We did this in sequence with the tanker task force shuttle back and forth. We did have the New Jersey road service vehicle arrive, and I can't say more enough about these guys. They travel the roads. They're great. They're well trained. I don't even have to tell them what to do. They just show up and start doing the advanced warning and the traffic diversions. Them guys are just great. Also, we work the Scudder's Falls, the Delaware River Joint Toll Bridge Commission. We work very well with them. I have direct communications with their patrol vehicle. If it is closer towards the bridge, they are there to help with traffic control with their patrol vehicle and some cones and stuff. Again, these road patrol guys are just great when we get out there on an incident like this. The tanker 51 and 53, they arrived for the additional water supply that fed engine 33 and squirt 31. And again, I'm benefited here with New Jersey DOT, the West Trenton yard. As the morning struck again, I guess they started at 7 a.m. They came out with additional traffic control devices, cones, and they also set up the detours. I'm also benefited because I have a member of the fire company that works for NJDOT. He's a supervisor, emergency response road supervisor. So for me, I make one call and he handles the rest for this type of traffic control, which is a real benefit for me. So, and once the fire was under control, and once the fire unit we picked up and the middle lane was open for the traffic, but we did keep the slow lane closed for personnel safety. As always, that's our high priority. And this is what we ended up with. We had 4 cars that actually burned on the trailer. At one point, you could see the top rear car, which we thought may have been an EV vehicle, because the driver, the trailer, wasn't sure which vehicle it was. Next slide, Chris.
Hey, thanks, Chief. We need to wrap this up. We got one more presentation to squeeze in. Sorry, we're running late. It's not you. It's just
I could go through this pretty quick.
Yeah, thanks.
So like I said, we had the vehicle. We thought it was a EV vehicle on the back there, but it ended up being the magnesium in the vehicle underneath that was burning. And again, it was hard for the firefighters to determine if EV vehicles, any charging ports or labeling on the vehicle. And the fire investigator actually, after the fire, ran the VIN numbers and determined that we only had one EV vehicle that was on the front part of the trailer. As the driver, it was a split trailer, and he disconnected the trailer and actually pulled a quarter mile down the road. And again, the source of the fire was the trailer braking system that malfunctioned on the passenger side, which blew the tires out and lit the fire. And again, with this operation took us over 33,500 gallons of water from the 2 tankers, and we had a fill site that was approximately a mile away at an office park just off the Bear Tavern exit. Some of the things we had were the delays in calling for towing, which delayed the on-scene time. Again, the information wasn't translated to them. They showed up with a 1-car tow truck, not telling them it was multiple vehicles on a car carrier. And successes, we had, again, I'll say the Service Patrol, Ewing Police, and the NJDOT. Biggest thing, strong coordination of your resources and knowing what's there. future preparedness, we need to find strategies to determine the electric vehicle from internal combustion versus electric vehicles. I don't know if the labeling is kind of small, especially up in the air on a car carrier, and resource typing for the dispatchers to gather that information and get it out to the responders at the communication center. And last but always, continue education, firefighter training and dealing with EV vehicles. I know there's a lot of agencies gathering information. There was one at the Regional Planning Commission meeting. So guys are out there getting this information to get it to the responders, as the upcoming and stuff that comes available. But training is key on any incident like this. And I think that's about it.